One of the most useful reading skills that you can acquire is the skill of guessing the meaning of a new word, an unfamiliar word, from the context. Context means the words and sentences that are around the new word, that come before it and come after it. This is an important skill because there are over 1 million words in the English language, and it's impossible for anyone to know all of those words. Even native English speakers, when they are reading, they often come across new words that they've never seen before. Now, you can always stop, open up a dictionary, and read the meaning of a new word, but that takes a lot of time. So instead of doing that, you try to guess the meaning of the word from the context and then move on. This skill requires you to use logic, use your knowledge of grammar, and your knowledge of the words around the new word in order to be able to guess. Here are some examples of guessing the context of examples of using context to be able to guess the meaning of a word. Here we have a missing word. So what we need to do is read the sentence. I removed the blank from the shelf and began to read. Well, we know because it says that this word has to be a noun. We also know that a shelf is something that we put books on, and we also know read is something that we do for books or magazines. So it would be a really good guess if we said I removed the book from the shelf and began to read. Let's try another one. Harry is a thief. Semicolon. He would blank the gold from his grandmother's teeth and not feel guilty. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to guess what word would fit here. What would be an appropriate word? Well, a thief is a person who steals things. And then it's got a semicolon. Now, a semicolon is an interesting punctuation mark. It is used for several things. But one reason why someone would write a semicolon is that the first sentence, the first part of the sentence, makes a statement, and then the second part is an example or an explanation of what was written in the first part. So it says Harry is a thief, and then he would. So this is an example of what he would do. Since he's a thief, I'm guessing this has something to do with stealing. Now, there's no noun here. There is the helping verb would. So then this should be a main verb, and so I'm going to say he would steal the gold from his grandmother's teeth and not feel guilty. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. So again, what we're doing is we're using the context to guess what word we'd put in here. Now when you're reading in a book, the words aren't missing, but you're using the context to guess the meaning of that new word. Let's try number 4. Unlike his brother, who is truly handsome, Mark is quite blank. Now, first of all, it says unlike. Unlike, we have to know, means that two things are not similar. They are not the same. His brother is truly handsome. Truly means very handsome, or definitely handsome. Mark is quite blank. Since Mark is unlike his brother, and his brother is handsome, we can guess then that most likely Mark is ugly. And that would be the right guess. Again, we're using the context to be able to figure out what makes sense. Now this one, we can't use any grammar, really, but what we can use is logic. Everyone knows that if you step on an egg, it will, okay, well, of course, step on, what happens when you step on an egg? It what? It about breaks. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Okay, so you can see that using logic, you can guess the